Hey, what's up my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor and I help people navigate through their ascension process. Today is going to be a May 2017 Ascension Energy update where I talk about my take on the present energies and what and how they might affect you this month. With that said though, don't allow me or anyone to tell you how something's going to be. Sometimes hearing someone describe something you might be going through can be helpful, can help you see it from a new angle, but by no means look at this like a prediction of what's going to happen, because you are in control of your destiny. Hopefully this video will help you get closer to wherever you want to get in life, and if that's the case, that's my primary aim, not to claim that I'm some sort of guru that can give you special foresight. The only person that can do that is you. You are the master, you are the guru. But again, with that said, these energy updates do somehow tend to help people, and people respond very nicely and say how it's helped them, so I'm going to keep doing them. And again, today I'm going to talk about the May energies. Number one is I feel like a lot of the lessons that we might have been struggling with for the past couple months or few moons, whatever, are going to start to finally sink in. A lot of times there are like always these cycles within cycles within cycles and within cycles. I feel like a medium-sized cycle, we'll say, is going to kind of culminate and wrap itself up, and the lessons that might have been kind of felt forced upon us, the derailments of where we thought our trajectory and where we thought we were going, our mindset that might have been a little bit rigid, our beliefs, our emotional attachments to things. Sometimes this ascension can happen in like these big jumps, these shifts, and all of a sudden it's like calling for us to dislodge ourselves from a particular situation, all of the things, all the different ties I described. And it can be a process, like a transition of resistance and feeling out of sorts and disconnected and kind of wreaking havoc in our physical life. And this can go on for a while. And it's because we're resisting it. Because these inner shifts, these jumps that we're making, they're not little jumps, they're not little shifts, they're big, massive, fundamental changes to everything that we are. And therefore, it's only natural to expect a little bit of resistance. But anyway, eventually whether we even know it or are conscious or not, we finally eventually yield to the vibrational pull. And then as we yield, it's like all those things that were kind of a struggle, it just starts to become more natural, more common, more like integrated with us. We've integrated the lesson, and now we can go forward more smoothly in maybe a new and unexpected and yet better place and direction in our life. So that's something I feel very strongly in this month. Number two is, I believe, when we have like the retrograde energy, oftentimes for many of us, it can feel like we're stuck in the mud, stuck having to reevaluate everything and doing all this inner growth, and we're not really moving forward. We become suddenly aware of all these problems, not problems, but adjustments in our life that we'd like to make. Like, oh wow, I didn't see this. I'd like to shift this because I can tell it's going to make me feel better. But when you it's just not the time. There's a time to just be bombarded with insights about what sucks about your life. And that can cause the natural, I want to change it, I want to change it, I want to change it, I want to change it. But sometimes in that type of energy, you don't get anywhere. You're just spinning in circles. You're not really able to change it. It doesn't work out. The energy is not ripe for that. But that always comes to an end. And you're going to find that May is like the gates have opened. You're like, oh wow, I've been meaning to adjust this and do this and change this and go here and be this, and now I can. Now with that said, it doesn't feel ultra easy. It doesn't feel like these adjustments are going to necessarily just be so effortless and magical and the energies have shifted and oh, it's going to be so nice. No, it's going to be like you can do it, and you still might be resisting yourself a little bit, but if you really push and you're persistent and you force it almost, you'll be able to budge out of this slump you might have been in for quite some time. So don't get discouraged if you try something and it doesn't go perfectly. And then don't get discouraged if you do that. Say you try something again and again and again and again and again, and it still doesn't go perfectly. You'll be rewarded, those of you who are persistent. And because you're more clear with what you want and where you want to go, don't lose sight of that. Don't second guess yourself because things, again, don't go your way. You might get little like fearful synchronicities saying, are you sure? Warning, don't go here. That's not good. That's not you. Have you considered this? Say no. Know where you want to go, know who you are, and go there, and just ignore the resistance and don't ever give up. And those of you who can do that, you'll be able to move mountains. I'll give an example. It's been more challenging for me to shoot videos. Sometimes it's so easy. It's like I could glance at, like, just skim through someone's question or something, and I can just whoosh, just like bust out this badass video that even blows me away. I'm like very happy and surprised with it. But other times it's like I try and I really do put all this energy and time into it, and it just doesn't come out that good. And that's kind of what was happening today. I tried to shoot this video earlier, and I just didn't like it. You know, I tried to really put out my best work with these Ascension Energy updates. You know. And then I tried, like, well, maybe I'll get myself warmed up with some other videos. I had a couple ideas I wanted to shoot, and it's just like, man, I probably did a half hour of footage, and I hated all of it. But eventually, on that, like, 17th video or whatever, I liked it. I was like, yes, I found my connection, man. I knew it would come back, and I got it. And then I fired off a couple videos since then, and now I figured, you know what, I feel good enough to do this Ascension Energy update. I had intended on doing it. I felt like it's going to get done today, because it's going to be too late in the month, obviously, and I didn't quit because things weren't going my way. And now so far I'm very happy with how I feel. I feel connected as I do this. So don't give up. Don't shy away in the face of adversity. Remember your strength and go get what's yours. Number 3, more gratitude. That's always nice. Something that we all could, you know, a lot of times it's not that our life needs to change, that we need something new to happen. It's that we just aren't looking at what the blessings are in our life, and therefore we sort of frame our situation in a cynical way. And that can create the feeling and the actual experience of unhappiness, discord, discontentment. And a lot of times, again, it's not so much that you need to get out of this job, you need to get away from these people, you need to move out of this state or city, you need to get a new car, you need to get some new clothes, you need to get in better shape. Yeah, that's good. Go for all that if you want to. But you don't have to wait for the fruition of any of that to be happy now. It's all relative. Me and my wife, when we were younger, we went down to Cozumel, Mexico. And the people there, for the most part, were incredibly poor, obviously. Not all of them, but there's just a lot of really poor people that lived in situations that were far more just not what I was used to. I was living in a big old house at this time, and I was sort of like pampered by my father-in-law, and the contrast was extreme. And yet, they were so freaking happy. I was blown away as we would walk down the street, and they would look us in the eye. Everybody, all the people there, they'd look us in the eye with such a genuine, their heart was just beaming out of their eyes. They said, you know, hola, you know, they would greet us with such a warm, beautiful greeting that it was just so awesome. These people were so happy, so content, and yet they had a lot less. They had to probably cater to asshole customers that would come in and go to the hotels and whatnot, and they didn't care. They were laughing and hanging out, and it was such a positive vibe, at least my experience then. And it made me realize that, again, it's not about the content so much of your life, rather it's your attitude. And this ascension, fortunately for us, it's making us aware of that at various intervals. And I believe May will be a time where things might not be perfect. You might be far from where you really want to be. But I've learned that it really is about enjoying the journey. And that's something to just say. That doesn't, if I say, hey man, enjoy the journey. I'm like, well, I hate the situation, dude. That doesn't do anything. But it's about your actual attitude. but you're all going through this ascension. You're all, whether you're resisting or not, or doing what you perceive to be a good job or not, it's all happening. You're changing, you're evolving, you're shifting, you're ascending quickly. And one of the benefits of that is more gratitude. That's not something you have to force or try. It's just more obvious. You just start to see things from a more grateful perspective, a more accepting energy you'll have about yourself and your life, and the good and the bad and the ups and the downs, the black and the white, the problems and the successes. It's all just fine. It's all just a game, because you're you and you're alive, and there's plenty to be grateful for. Lastly, I suspect it's going to be intense for a lot of people. The summer, the spring always tends to be, the winter energy always has its own challenges, its own rigors, its own ups and downs, and like we're hibernating, and a lot of inner stuff, and sometimes big physical stuff. But we're always like looking forward to spring, looking forward to summer, because we associate that with brightness and sunshine and like forward progress. And I believe we're going to have a lot of that. Me and you, the Ascension cats. But I believe the world might experience that in a very different way. More. I don't think I'd be surprised to see some chaos from people who are resisting these ascension energies, and the process is trying to catalyze. But that doesn't matter. Sometimes I feel like that can be a focal point, and we can like judge our own lives based on what the world is doing. The world's a friggin' mess. The world's having this crazy ass process sort of forced upon it, and it's unaware of it, and we're seeing the mess of that resistance. It's such a fundamental change. But you guys are at least doing your best. I'm doing my best to allow this. I have my days, my times, my weeks, my months where I don't allow, and I resist, and I'm like pissing and moaning like a little baby, and I'm having tough times. But for the most part, I do my best to allow, yield, change, trust, let go. But most of the world that I'm living in, that you're living in, it's not doing that. It's standing its ground with all its might. And this energy is just building and it's pushing. And sometimes we see these explosions in people, in life events, and situations. And that's just bound to happen with what's going down, basically. And I don't mean to say that in a detached or a heartless way, but it just is what it is. And you can be calm within the storm, truly. The world needs you to be. So even though there might be a lot of stuff going on around the politics, and there's all the different stuff on the news, that doesn't mean you can't have a really good time. It doesn't mean you can't create a real badass, awesome, fulfilling little heaven on earth in your own little bubble. So don't forget that. Don't get discouraged by what you see. Go by how you feel. State of being is all that matters. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. I wish you an amazing month, and I want to just thank you for all of your love and support and the kindness you're always showing me. You're always so appreciative of me, and I'm just some guy doing my thing, man. I enjoy it probably as much as you, and it's just very nice to see all the nice things you guys say about me. So thank you very much. Have a great month. I will speak to you soon. Namaste.